Hello, I'm Celebrity Chef Dana Herbert, and welcome to the Chef Dana Cooking Show. Together, we're going to learn how to saute, to roast, to bake like a pro. So whether you're cooking for 1 or you're cooking for 20, we can get it done together on the Chef Dana Cooking Show. Welcome to Friendsgiving, everybody. I love Thanksgiving. It's a time that's full of family and friends. Today we're going to do 4 dishes for Friendsgiving. I specifically want to do something that's classic, but then at the same time I'm going to give you a little twist on a couple other favorites. So we're going to do that classic mac and cheese, Chef Dana style. We're going to do a Brussels sprouts gratin where I'll show you how I bake that in the oven and add some cool flavors to it. We're going to do a sweet and spicy cran raspberry sauce. And to finish it off, we are going to jam. That's right, we're going to do Chef Dana's onion jam. So get ready for a flavorful Friendsgiving.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Powerboil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to start with that infamous mac and cheese. Everybody that I know has mac and cheese at the table for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to show you how Chef Dana does his mac and cheese. So first and foremost, we want to cook the noodles, right? So I got a pot of water here. It's warming up. A couple things when you're cooking. Pasta. I like to add a little bit of oil to my pot. This helps the noodles from sticking together. So I'm going to add some oil here, right? Just so as it comes to a boil and the noodles start cooking, they don't stick together. Next thing that I was always taught was we got to season the water. Big mistake when no one seasons the water. So we want to add a little bit of salt to our water. So I'm just giving a couple little shakes in there. So we got our water seasoned. Now we're going to let that come to a boil. All right? While we're waiting for that to come to a boil, let's get the milk mixture going. So the milk mixture is pretty easy. I have some butter here. We're going to end up using a stick of butter. I have some evaporated milk, and I have some regular milk. Now, I like the evaporated milk just because it gives it a little bit of a different flavor than just traditional milk. All right? The butter, your choice. You could use a salted stick of butter, or you could use an unsalted and control it later. So in the pot, we're going to go with the butter. Then I'm going to add my evaporated milk. And we're going to add the regular milk. Okay. So once those are in the pot, we're just going to warm them up. I'm not necessarily looking for them to boil. I just want to get them warm so that the butter melts, so that I can then crack my eggs. We'll whisk the eggs into the milk mixture and we'll set it aside. So I'm going to get rid of these bowls. And we're going to crack our eggs, get them ready. Right? So you're going to need about 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 eggs in the bowl. Okay, that's 2. For all the kids watching, they can practice their numbers, right? And I'm just using room temperature eggs. I let them get the room temperature, and the reason being is that when you add cold things, such as an egg, to a warm mixture, you don't want to scramble it. So this kind of helps in not scrambling it. Then we're going to take our whisk, and we're just going to beat it up a little bit, break up some of these yolks, so that when we go to mix it into the milk mixture, it'll be a little easier. Okay, so I'm just mixing up my eggs, breaking those yolks. I like to use the whisk because it gets in there and kind of breaks it up better. See, like that yolk there? And then we'll just let this hang out until our butter melts. Okay, there we go. So we're going to set this to the side, and then we're going to get into some of these cheeses. Now, this is where I have some fun. In my house, when we say cheese, my wife normally says, yes, please. So I can't go wrong. The more cheese I add to the mac and cheese, the better she feels. And fellas, you know, we get to sleep peacefully at night. So today, we're going to use a smoked Gouda. Smoked Gouda has a lot of flavor to it. I love that cheese. Second one, I'm going to use a cheddar. Now, I'm going to use a sharp cheddar. You know, there's mild cheddars, there's extra sharp, and there's sharp. I'm going to choose the sharp because sometimes the extra sharp could be a little bit overpowering, and it's going to hide the smoked Gouda flavor that I'm looking to bring through. And then on top here, I'm going to use the Colby Jack. All right? So those are two of my cheeses. The third one, the smoked Gouda, I'm going to have to shred. Sometimes you can find the sharp shredded, you can find the Colby shredded, but a lot of times the smoked Gouda you won't find shredded, so you're going to have to do it yourself. So I'm going to shred my smoked Gouda, these beautiful strands. I just want to taste it. Let me see. You can taste the smoke coming right through there. That's why I love this cheese. Love, 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 love it. All right. So we got our cheese almost shredded. And we're just going to return it to the bowl. And then once the noodles are done, then we'll be able to pull it all together. So when we come back, I'm going to show you how we start to pull this mac and cheese together.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Powerboil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Check in without checking out. Thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm going to show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're going to go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm going to show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of KEURIG at your refrigerator. The KEURIG K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite KEURIG K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
Okay, so I got my noodles here ready to go. I'm going to now whisk my eggs into my milk mixture, which you see right here. So I've got my eggs beaten up. I'm stirring my milk mixture with the butter, and then I'm gonna whisk in the eggs. Now this style of mac and cheese is different a little bit than say the French style, because if we were in France, they would tell you to make a bechamel, which is milk with a little roux in there, and then to add your cheeses to it, which is like a Mornay sauce. All right, so that's their version of mac and cheese. Today we're using the eggs to help coagulate this mac and cheese, more of a southern style, should I say. Okay, so I've whisked in my eggs, and as you can see, not curdled or anything like that, so those are perfect. I'm gonna turn off my heat, and then we're going to pour this mixture over the noodles. Okay, so I'm pouring them over the noodles, just like that. And then, as you can guess, we're gonna need to put some cheese in this baby. So now is when you're gonna put that cheddar cheese in there. Now is when you're gonna put the smoked Gouda. Look at all that cheese, baby, yes. Now, did you guys know mac and cheese started in Italy? Maybe a guess, because you know they're kind of famous for their pasta, right? But mac and cheese kind of started like a lasagna would. So for the mac and cheese in Italy, they started out with these flat dough sheets, and then they would put the cheese in between them once the pasta was cooked, of course, and then they would just pop it in the oven and bake it. So that's kind of how mac and cheese started in the 1400s. Then as you came across the sea to America, you started to see mac and cheese popping up in different places. Actually in Canada, they are known for eating more mac and cheese than anywhere else in the world. Crazy, right? Because they have some other great dishes up there like poutine. A lot of people think poutine is their #1 dish, but honestly it's mac and cheese. When mac and cheese came to the United States, Thomas Jefferson and James Hemings are what made mac and cheese popular. Thomas Jefferson had went over to Europe, saw the mac and cheese, said, I gotta have it back here in the US. And so they taught James how to make the mac and cheese. James Hemings was his chef. And he served it at this dinner. Now at the dinner, it got so-so reviews at the time, but it became popular. All right, so here's my mac and cheese mixture. To my mac and cheese mixture, we gotta season it a little bit, right? We got the cheese in there. Let's add a little bit of salt. And we gotta add the pepper, as I call it. Gotta add the pepper. I know it's spelled P-E-P-P-E-R, but I say it like pepper. All right, there we go. All right, kind of like salt and pepper, right? All right, so now we're gonna take our mac and cheese, we're gonna put it into the dish. Now, if it doesn't all fit in one dish, guess what? You just get another one, baby. You just get another one, and you make one for the kids, because this one is all daddy's, all right? Now we're gonna top this with some cheese. And remember what I said about my wife, right? Cheese, please? So I'm gonna be very generous on the top of here. Cheese, cheese, and more cheese. All right? Because I like a nice layer of cheese on the top. Nothing makes me madder than when I get mac and cheese and you don't see a whole lot of cheese on the mac and cheese. Like, what's going on? All right, so here we go. There's my mac and cheese. And then we're gonna take this over to the oven. Get in there, cheese. We're gonna pop it in 350 degrees or so. Some people do 375. I like 350 because it's a little cautious. So we'll pop this in 30 minutes. We'll take a look after 30 minutes and judge if it needs to go another 5 minutes or so, doesn't need a little browning, etc. So I'm gonna pop this into my oven. I love my new oven. This new oven is so cool. It's by GE. This thing does everything. I mean, it does the bake, it does the roast, it does the broil, but it's also an air fryer. It's also a dehydrator, so I can't wait to break this thing in. You can control it by your cell phone too. It's pretty cool. So we're going in, and you can even watch what's baking on your cell phone. It's got a camera inside. It's really cool. Technology's come a long way in the food world, so I'm excited. So our mac and cheese is in the oven, 30 minutes. When we come back, we're going to get into some Brussels sprouts.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's PowerBoil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Check in without checking out. Thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm gonna show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're gonna go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm gonna show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of KEURIG at your refrigerator. The KEURIG K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite KEURIG K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to dive into Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. When I was little, couldn't stand them. Now that I'm an adult, they taste amazing. So Brussels sprouts have made their way onto many fine dining menus. So we're going to do the Brussels sprout gratin. We're going to drop in some Brussels sprouts carefully. You don't want to splash and hurt yourself, but we're going to drop some Brussels sprouts in here. We're going to drop them in the water. We're going to let them blanch for about 8 minutes. Now, I got some other wonderful ingredients here for you guys today. We've got some cream. That's going to give us some of that fattiness and some richness. I got some shallots. We have some bacon. I got some mushrooms, porcini mushrooms at that, so something a little special. We got some thyme and a little bit of butter. So we're going to start off by sauteing the bacon. So we're going to just throw our bacon here into the hot pan. I've cut it up, okay? And then I'm just going to stir it up. We want to cook it so we can get some of the fat out of there, okay? Move it around, moving and grooving. And once our bacon's cooked, it sets a perfect stage to be able to add the shallots in there. So we're going to cook our bacon. See the fat coming out? That's beautiful. So we're going to cook everything in this pan. Why? Because it's going to be full of flavor. This is what I call putting the love in the pan. All right? So we're cooking our bacon. You see the fat rendering right now. I'll cook it, and then we're going to add our shallots. The shallots are going to cook in that bacon fat, and we'll add a little bit of butter there to balance out the flavor. Now, as you notice right now, I haven't put any salt in my pan yet because bacon tends to have higher amounts of sodium to it. So we're going to allow the bacon, the shallots, and everything to come together before we taste it to see if we need any more salt in there. Oh, that is awesome. I use it all the time in my desserts as well. I am actually the owner of a bakery, award-winning bakery in Newark, Delaware called Desserts by Dana. And I got started cooking, I blame it on my grandmother, really. She kind of planted that seed. Like, I would find myself hanging at the edge of her counter, begging for the beater from the bowl when she was making cake, or hoping she'd give me those cookie dough scraps. But she made everything: jams, jellies, cookies, cakes. She's from Maryland, so we had kind of like that mid-Atlantic kind of diet, where we had crab cakes all the time on Sunday. And then followed by her world-famous potato salad. On Christmas, her sugar cookies, you couldn't beat them. Everybody would bring sugar cookies over just to see if they could top my grandmother's. Nobody's beat her yet. She's 96. Yeah, 96 now. All right, so I've got my bacon here, and it's smelling amazing. I'm gonna add my shallots now. We're gonna get our shallots in there cooking, get them nice and crispy, and then we're gonna add our mushrooms in there. Now, I had some porcini mushrooms. They were dried, so I had to reconstitute them. So you do that by basically putting the mushrooms in hot water. Takes about 15 minutes, could take up to 20, depending upon the density of the mushroom that you're dealing with. And then they reconstitute, and they are amazing. Okay, morels would taste good in this one, if you could find them. Okay, so I'm sauteing my shallots, and you can already tell this is a bubbly pan of goodness going on right now. I don't even know if that's a word. Webster's gonna thank me. Bubbly pan of goodness. Okay, so here are my shallots. They are getting translucent, which is what we're looking for. And then we're gonna add the mushrooms in there. Okay. So we've got our bacon looking lovely. We've got the shallots. Now let's add our porcini mushrooms. Okay. Now you're gonna hear that sizzle. Now that little bit of juice that's left in the bowl, full of flavor. Pour it in there. Pour it in there, don't waste it. And then we're gonna stir this up so that the mushrooms and the bacon and the shallots all come together. Okay, this is amazing. So now, once we've got the mushrooms in there, and we've got the shallots, and we've got the bacon going, we need to add in some thyme. So I like to use a little bit of fresh thyme. Just sprinkle that right on in. Remember I said we were going to use a little bit of butter, right? Booyah. Butter's going in. Give that a good stir. And we're really going to cook this down until the mushrooms and the shallots and the bacon have almost absorbed most of the juices. Okay? So when we come back, we're going to add some heavy cream to this pan, and I'm going to show you how to pull this Brussels sprout gratin together.
At your refrigerator, the KEURIG K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite KEURIG K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
We're going to now add the cream to our mushrooms and our shallots and our bacon. So you can only imagine how wonderful this is getting ready to taste. So I'm pouring my cream in the pan, and we're just gonna let it bubble really good, kind of reduce just a tiny bit. Remember, we are gonna bake this in the oven, so we don't need to take it all the way down to very tight, but we just need those flavors to combine. So I've got my cream in the pan. I'm just gonna give it a quick stir just like this. Make sure everybody's getting a little love. And then we're gonna let that simmer a second. So while that's simmering, let's get our Brussels sprouts out of this hot water. They've blanched for about 8 to 10 minutes, and we need to strain it. All right, so we got our Brussels sprouts, and we're gonna pour these right in our colander. Okay, toasty. Okay. All right, let that water come off of there. And we're gonna go over here to the cutting board. Now over here on the cutting board, we're gonna chop up a few of these. And we're gonna put them in our casserole dish. Ooh, they're toasty. Okay. All right, let's start with that. Let's see how many we get in that casserole dish. All right, so I'm just gonna cut them in half. And I can tell by cutting them in half that we've blanched them, they're just about done. What's gonna happen in the oven is they're gonna bubble nicely. I'm gonna turn my heat off on here, look at that. Oh my goodness. Come on, you can't tell me that's not gonna, that's not gonna be amazing. All right, so we'll set that there for the moment, because that is done cooking. Oh, I don't even, see, I'm dropping stuff. I don't even want to share it with you. That looks really good. All right. So let's get these Brussels sprouts in here. And then we'll pour our mushroom mixture over top of it. We'll use a little breadcrumb too. Now when you're cutting them, just be careful, watch your fingers. And it's hot, so I know you could be fussing at me while you're doing this, but promise you, it's worth it. I promise. Okay. All right, so we're almost there. Ooh. Now, if you have a little extra stem like this, just go ahead and just cut it off, okay? We don't want that extra long stem. You could just get rid of that part. Every once in a while, you'll see some Brussels sprouts that have a long stem on them from when they were picked, harvested, etc. We'll just get rid of that little woodiness coming from the stem. But here's my Brussels sprouts looking nice, beautiful, green, vibrant. I'm just gonna season that with just a tiny bit of salt and pepper right on these, okay? So I got my Brussels sprouts here, okay? I'm just gonna season it with a little pepper right now. I'm gonna grab my salt, okay? And, booyah, you guessed it, we're going right on top of here with some creamy yum yum, all right? So you just want to pour this all over top of your Brussels sprouts, all right? It's going to seep down all through there. All right, I think that's my timer saying 30 minutes, guys. That's my 30-minute timer. Now look at this. Look at this. Come on. You can't tell me that's not going to be ridiculous. And you can use the word ridiculous when you talk about food, because this is going to be ridiculous. So now I'm sprinkling on the breadcrumbs, right? Just to give it a little bit of body to it, a little bit of crunch. Give your mouth something else to make you happy, happy. Okay. There you go. Now we're going to take this. This is going to take about 15 minutes in the oven. It's not going to take a very long time because, one, we already pre-blanched the Brussels sprouts, right? Two, we've already got the mushrooms, the onions, and the bacon already cooked. So it's just going to do its thing. It's going to brown for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to put this in the oven, 15 minutes. Oh boy. Guys, we have the mac and cheese is just about ready. Now, I'm looking at my mac and cheese right here. Check this out. I'm gonna say my mac and cheese needs maybe 5 more minutes. I like it to just get a little bit browner on there, but look at that. You see that cheesy goodness going on right now? I wanted to just get a little bit more color on the top, and you can see it's starting. I see some brown spots here, all around the edges. I'm gonna let it just get a little bit browner in the middle, okay? So I'm gonna let it go for about 5 minutes. And when we come back, we're gonna show you the finished mac and cheese, and we're gonna start working on our onion jam and our cran raspberry sauce. I'm Chef Dana. We'll be right back.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Powerboil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Check in without checking out. Thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm gonna show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're gonna go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm gonna show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of KEURIG at your refrigerator. The KEURIG K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite KEURIG K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
Welcome back, everybody. We have some deliciousness coming out of the oven for you. We've got that mac and cheese that we worked on earlier, and we have the Brussels sprouts gratin. So let's take a look. Let's see how they came out. Okay. Let us see. Oh, baby, 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 baby. Look at that. That mac and cheese is looking yummy. The Brussels sprouts are looking yummy. Let me pull this out here so you guys can take a look at it. That's what I also love about this oven. It's got the little trays. You can just come right out with it. So here's our mac and cheese. I like mine just like this, how the cheese is nice and browned on the top. We've got our Brussels sprouts going on right here. That looks amazing. I can't wait to get into that. So we're gonna sit these here, let these cool down, and we're gonna get into the next couple dishes. So the next couple dishes that we're going to do is we're going to do a cran raspberry sauce. And I told you we're going to jam. So we're going to do our onion jam. So for the onion jam, it's really simple. You just have to be a little patient with it. I have some red onions. I have some red wine, some lemons, a little bit of honey, red wine vinegar, a little bit of rosemary, my dear friend rosemary, and we have a bay leaf. So to start off the onions, we're going to put some oil in the pan. We want to make sure it's nice and hot, okay? There we go. And you're going to need some red onions. All right. So I'm just moving my oil around, and then we're going to add the red onions to the saute pan. That's good. I'm looking for that sizzle that I'm hearing. One thing that's really important when you're cooking is you want to make sure your pan's hot. You don't want to cook in a cold pan. Cold pan means that your food's going to absorb the oil like a sponge. We don't want that. Okay. So here's our onions. And we're going to cook the onions till basically the liquid comes out. So I'm going to cook them on like a medium-high heat, and I'm going to let those saute. Meanwhile, we're going to get the gastrique going. So the gastrique is a combination of the honey, the red wine vinegar. I'm going to put a bay leaf in there. So in this pot right here, I'm going to start the gastrique. Okay. So I've got my vinegar in there, and now I'm going to put my honey in there. We really cook on this show, guys. It's hot. Okay. I'm going to stir in my honey. Okay. And I've got my red wine vinegar. I'm just going to stir them to combine them. And then I'm going to add a bay leaf for some flavor. Okay. And we're just going to let that come to a simmer. When all that comes to a simmer, then we're going to pull out the bay leaf, and we'll end up pouring that over the onions. So on my onions here, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, because we want to season them. Remember what I tell you at the beginning? If you learn nothing else, season, season, season. It's like at the heart of cooking. All right, we're going to add a little pepper. I'm going to add a sprig of rosemary. Now, I'm not necessarily looking to take the rosemary off the stem, but I want to put the rosemary in there so that it imparts some flavor. Sometimes some of the beauty about cooking is that you can put flavors in there and keep people guessing on what's in there because they won't see the rosemary. They'll just taste the rosemary. Sometimes you can play with their mind a little bit. So Thanksgiving is honestly one of my favorite times of the year. It's that one time when all my family and friends would get together. We would all meet up at Grandma's house. It was almost like a mandatory thing. Thanksgiving and of course Christmas. So we would all find ourselves around the kitchen table. And it's one of the reasons why I really fell in love with food in the first place. So I fell in love with food because you would find your mom and dad would go off to work. Your brothers or sisters and yourself, you go to school. And you guys would be absent from each other all day. However, the one time that you guys would find yourself back together was around that kitchen table eating dinner. So that's how I kind of fell in love with food. I would see that all the times at Sunday dinners at my grandmother's house when we would all be together, or on holidays and so forth. And it really translated to the word love for me. So I just want to share my love with you guys, and we're going to put that love right in this pan. All right? So we are sauteing these onions. Okay? And they are smelling wonderful. The rosemary is really coming out. Oh, amen. Okay. So we got our onion sauteing here, right? We got the gastrique going. We want to let this come to a simmer it's going to bubble, it's going to reduce a little bit. The next step that we're going to do is, once these onions have gotten really soft, translucent, they start to almost caramelize just a little bit, we're going to add the red wine to them. And we're going to cook it until the red wine just about disappears. So what's happening is that we're taking the moisture from the onion, in a sense almost drying it out a little bit as it's caramelizing, right? We're changing the flavors of the onion, it's caramelizing a bit. Then we're going to allow the red wine to go back in and rush back into the onion to kind of fill the space that the original moisture took. Then we're going to reduce the moisture from the red wine, leaving a wonderful caramelized onion. And then by the time we're ready, we pour the gastrique on, give it a stir, and your jam's going to be ready. Okay? So while our onion jam is going on, we're going to start the cran raspberry. All right? So I'm going to move a couple things, get prepared for our friend cran raspberry. I want to thank my sponsors of the Chef Dana Cooking Show. This episode was sponsored by Bath Kitchen and Towel Center of Delaware and GE Profile Appliances.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Powerboil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Check in without checking out. Thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm going to show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're going to go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm going to show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of KEURIG at your refrigerator. The KEURIG K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite KEURIG K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
Okay. I really want to keep babysitting these onions because they smell great. Okay, so let's take a look at our cran raspberry. So over on this side, we're going to work on our cran raspberry dish. So here's some of the ingredients. We have the cranberries. Of course, we got some raspberries. I have a jalapeno. I'll tell you something about that in a second. We have some limes. We have a little bit of water. I have some brown sugar, cloves, and a pinch of cayenne. So this cran raspberry is going to have a little bit of heat to it. All right? So for the jalapeno, we're going to use maybe about half a jalapeno. I'm just tossing my onions here. It's important, if you want to cook like that, you use a saute pan. Saute pans always have that curvy edge to them. In France, the word saute means to jump. So their pans are designed to do that little flip move. That's how you can kind of tell a saute pan. It has a curvy edge to it. A skillet, on the other hand, has more of a straight edge. All right. So I'm just taking the seeds out of this jalapeno. I'm only going to use about half of it. Okay. Now, if you want it hotter, use a whole jalapeno. Or add a little more cayenne that I mentioned in the dish. But I'm only going to use about half of it today. Jalapenos are also really good if you roast them. So if you put a jalapeno in the broiler, you can roast it, or you could put it on the grill. Look at those onions and rosemary, baby. Come on. That is yummy. All right. So with the jalapeno, I'm going to cut it in thin slices. And like I was saying earlier, you could always grill it to get another flavor or another dimension to the jalapeno. You could smoke it. I wonder if anybody knows what a smoked jalapeno is. Smoked jalapeno is actually a chipotle pepper. Just a little fun fact. Everything in this food world is related. You know, doesn't matter what country, what ethnicity you came from. Everything is all related. It's just really what was growing in your area. It's got a cousin, it's got a brother, a mother, but everything is related. That's the beauty of food. Okay, so here's my jalapeno ready to go. I'm going to toss my onions one more time, and then I'm going to add the red wine to that. See how they got this beautiful color to them, right? Let's add the red wine, and you're going to hear a sizzle. Sizzle, baby, sizzle. Uh-huh. Yes, that's what we're going for. Okay. Just going to shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Move my pan around. Spread my onions out. We're going to let it simmer until almost all of the liquid has just about reduced. Almost. Not dry, but almost. And then we're going to add this lovely gastrique that we have going on. So in this gastrique, it's starting to hold a bubble in the pan, which is a good thing. That means that it's reducing. That means you're concentrating the flavors, and it's going to thicken up. So I'm going to let it just simmer just a second longer, and we'll be able to add that to our onion jam. So going back to our cran raspberry, we're going to need to put the raspberries in the pot with the water. We want them to pop, so to speak. We're going to add the sugar to that as well. We're going to add the jalapenos. In my opinion, this is a Dana thing, I'm going to take my oil, just a little bit, right? Hit that in the pot. Boom. Right? I'm going to saute my jalapenos just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not that I don't like raw jalapeno, but I think it's even better when you saute it just a little bit. Plus, we're going to bring some of the oils out of this jalapeno with it sauteing on the stove. All right? So I'm sauteing my jalapeno for about a minute just to get it going. After that, then I'm going to add my cranberries. I'll add the water. I'll add the sugar. Okay? All right. So we've got this going. It's been about 60 seconds. I can already smell jalapeno in the air. Now I'm going to add the cranberries. Okay. Let's add the water. I'm going to add 2 pieces of clove. Yes, I love the sound of sizzle. All right, we're going to add those couple cloves. I'm going to add my brown sugar. Now when we come back, I'm going to show you guys how we pull the onion jam all together, and we're going to finish up that cran raspberry sauce. I'm Chef Dana. We'll be right back.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Powerboil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Check in without checking out. Thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm gonna show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're gonna go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm gonna show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of KEURIG at your refrigerator. The KEURIG K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite KEURIG K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're gonna wrap this up with our cran raspberry sauce and our onion jam. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. When we left off, the onions were cooking in the red wine, and look how beautiful they look right now. Doesn't take very long, but again, we wanted to cook them until most of the juice was out of there, so that when we pour on that gastrique, it kind of coats all the onions, makes a really nice sticky sauce. So you can see most of the moisture is out of my onions. Here on the cran raspberry sauce, our cranberries have popped. They look good. Oh, they smell good. So once they've popped, I'm gonna add in my raspberries. Raspberries take no time at all to break down. Like, they break really fast under heat. So I'm just gonna give them a stir, okay? They're gonna break down pretty quickly. They're gonna release a little bit of juices from the raspberry, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of the lime juice, okay? So I've stirred together the cranberry and the raspberry. I'm going to take my knife here. I'm gonna cut my lime in half. There we go. And I'm gonna give it just a little squeeze, because it needs like a little bit of acidity, you know what I mean? All right, so I gave my lime a squeeze, and then I'm going to add just a pinch of the cayenne pepper. Okay, remember, a little bit goes a long way. And then I'm just gonna give it a stir, bring it all together, and let it simmer for just a second. And that's basically your cran raspberry sauce. I'll show that to you in a second once we've let that simmer for just a moment. Now over here to my jam, right? I've got my onions. I've got my gastrique here. You see the beautiful color on my gastrique. I'm gonna need to add this to this, but not before I add a little bit of lemon zest and I add a little bit of lemon juice. So I got my zester here. Now it's important when you're zesting the lemon, we don't want to go too deep when we zest, okay? If you go too deep, you'll get to what's called the pith. The pith is kind of sour. We don't want to do that, okay? So here's my lemon zest, all right? And you can control how much lemon zing you want by the amount of zest that's going in there. So I'm gonna take my lemon zest, right into my gas streak, just like that. Then I'm gonna cut my lemon in half, and I'm gonna take the juice out of both of the halves right into the pot. Okay, and we're gonna bring that up to a quick little simmer once we pour it into the onion pan. All right, so there we go. Got my lemons. Let me get my little spatula. Here we go. We're gonna pour right into there. And then I just hold back the bay leaf, you know. The bay leaf was used to flavor the honey and the vinegar, but nobody really wants to eat like a bay leaf, right? Okay, so I'm just stirring this up. Just like that. We're gonna bring it to a quick simmer, and the onion jam is done. So I'm gonna bring my heat up. At the same time, I'm searching, remember, for that sprig of rosemary that I put in there? And I found it. There it is. I'm gonna pull out that sprig of rosemary, right? Remember we talked about flavoring, but they don't exactly know what's in it? This is one of our little secrets just between me and you, all right? So I have my gas streak in here. We're gonna let that simmer a second, and then we'll take it right off the heat, and it's done. That is our onion jam. It's gonna get tighter as it cools, so don't worry if you think like it looks a little bit loose. You'll be fine. Once it comes to this simmer, you're good to go. Okay, so I just spread it out, give it a second just to come to a simmer, and you'll see what I mean, okay? Now, let's go back over here to my friend, cran raspberry. All right, just wipe that off. And here is our beautiful cran raspberry. Let me get a bowl. I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Okay. So this is what you want to do for Thanksgiving. You want to flip it on them and do a cran raspberry sauce. You gotta keep them guessing. Everybody has cranberry sauce every single year, but who has cran raspberry sauce? All right, so this is our cran raspberry sauce right there. Look how beautiful that looks. All right, and then our onion jam. You're letting it simmer. You see how it's already looking sticky. I mean, look at the liquid in the pan, right? See how it's already looking sticky? So you can imagine when it cools down, it's going to get even tighter. And I'll let you guys in on a secret. If you ever have a liquid that has sugar in it, and you see that it's bubbling, and it's starting to hold bubbles on the surface like these are in these few little spots here, that's telling you that there is an absence of moisture, i.e. it's getting thicker, and it's going to be tighter, especially once it cools down. All right, same thing would go when you're doing a reduction on heavy cream. You see the heavy cream come to a simmer, it boils, and then all of a sudden you see the bubbles start holding on the surface. Same exact thing, all right? See how when I pulled it in the pan, all that space, how long it takes to come back? All right, so to serve, all we're gonna do here is take our onion jam and put it right into our serving bowl. Now, onion jam goes incredibly well with beef. It's gonna go wonderful with turkey. If there's anything that has mustard in it, onion jam is a phenomenal complement because it has a sweetness and a depth that's gonna cut through the tanginess of the mustard. So here we have our onion jam. We have our cran raspberry sauce. And let's bring over our mac and cheese. Heavy. All right, so we got some mac and cheese going on. And we've got our Brussels sprouts gratin right there. So this is Thanksgiving, just kicked up a notch. We got all kind of flavors in here. We've got the smoked Gouda, we've got red wines, we've got brown sugars, we've got raspberries, we've got cranberries, we've got lime, Brussels sprouts, bacon, porcini mushrooms. What more can you ask for at Thanksgiving? I'm Chef Dana. Thank you all for tuning into the Chef Dana Cooking Show, and I hope we make your Thanksgiving fabulous. See you guys.